Hello everyone, my name is Ripley and today we're doing the final tour of the Resident Evil 2 police station that we've been building from the remake. This build took about a month and a half to do roughly, and it's a big build, so fair enough. Although it only took me about 25 hours to finish, which I am kind of surprised that it didn't take so long. I would have thought that it would take at least like double. But still, only 25 hours, which includes like crashes as well, and I still feel like I got in everything that I wanted to get in, pretty much. There are some items here and there that are missing, definitely, but overall I think that I'm really happy with the end result. And this is a very big build. This is built on the 64x64 in Windenburg. I just thought that about all the 64x64 that we had, because I definitely needed that lot size, I thought that this was the best place to build it, just for like environment's sake. Although I guess that doesn't really make sense, because in Resident Evil they're in the middle of a city, whilst here we're in the middle of the woods. But I think that just with everything around it, it fits best here. Of course you can put it on any 64x64 lot, but just for building's sake I thought it looked nicest here. And I really did need a 64x64 lot, because this build stretches all the way out. Like, I don't really have any more tiles on the sides. I used up all the space that I possibly could, and with it being so big, it's also very expensive. It actually ended up reaching 1 million, which I'm very excited about. And hitting 1 million was never really something that I set out to do. It was really just when I started to build that I realized how expensive it was getting. Like, every floor was like 200,000, 300,000 each. So closer to the end, I did realize that we are probably gonna hit 1 million, and then I set it as a goal because I was really excited to hit 1 million. Although we technically just hit like, I think we hit like 970,000. I did add in some extra stuff just to go over and hit the million, which I really wanted to do, which I thought was really exciting. Lot wise, this is a generic lot, and I set it as a generic lot just because I didn't really think it fit another lot type. Of course, with me putting in the Sims here for the tour, I ended up putting it as a residential just for me. I guess we could use it as a residential as well. I mean, we do have like fridges in here, we have a lot of vending machines, there are a bed, we have like a toilet and a shower, so you could definitely live here if you want to. But with that said, it's of course, I think that you're gonna have some problems running this build if you have a lower end computer, because it's a very massive build with a lot of stuff. And we also have the mailbox there in the main hall. Just because I did put it as a residential, that is of course not there on the gallery version, but just for having a residential you need to have a mailbox, and for some reason in The Sims, mailboxes like to go in the hallway. They're always in front of the front door on the inside, which is a little bit strange, I think. But it's there, but it's not supposed to be there, so that's fine. Otherwise, I am pretty happy with how this lot turned out. I really like how you can see up all the 3 floors from the main hall. Of course, it's kind of glitching out. I don't think that the game likes that you can see all the way up, but I think it's a cool feature, even though it does glitch out, which is a shame. And here you can see right down to the first floor again, and I think that this is quite a cool shot. I did also end up putting in, I think I mentioned it earlier, but I did put in the Claire and Leon sim as well in here, just to have them like walk around the police station as we're doing the tour. I thought that would be a fun idea to do, and just have them walking around here, just kind of giving it a little bit more life. And I was actually surprised over how well they could get over the police station, because of course building the police station, it is kind of like a mix of having it look like aesthetically nice, but also having it somewhat functional. And something that I thought that wasn't gonna work is I have those kind of like garage murals, because you have garage doors on certain like entrances in the police station, and I thought that, well, the Sims are not gonna be able to go into those places because of the garage door. But the Sims can just kind of like walk through the garage doors, which are really weird. I guess they are technically like debugged, so they are not like they're supposed to go on walls, and so the Sims can just kind of like fade through them for some reason. So I guess that makes the police station more accessible. But it was just a really interesting thing that I saw with having Sims here, because this was the first time that I did have Sims here. And it ended up working really well, which is a good thing. It's always a plus, of course. Here we have the West office real quick. I really like how this turned out. Leon is sitting down there. Overall, I think that it is the right amount of clutter. I think that some of the rooms could have had like an extra tile. But I think in a lot of places as well, I just wanted to have like half a tile extra, which is not possible. But overall, I think that I'm very happy with the scaling. I think that the scaling ended up being quite accurate. I mean, in some places it could have been the same thing. You have maybe a tile too much, a tile too little. But overall, I think that I fit in everything that I need to fit in without it being too crammed, which is pretty much the end goal in here. And I'm really happy with the overall size and everything. Something that I thought in the very beginning was that I wanted to build it on the actual police lot that comes with Get to Work. But now, I mean, that police lot is only like a 30 by 40, so that would never have worked. I mean, then you would have like literally had to cut this police station in half to do that. So it's like, oh, maybe not. So we just ended up building it in Windenburg, as I said. This build is also on my gallery if you want it. My gallery ID is RiipleyYT. That's Ripley with 2 I's with a YT at the end. It's called like RE2 Remake Police Station, I believe. Something like that. It does use a lot of packs, of course, but this being such a big build, I didn't really want to limit myself with the packs. So we used quite a bit of packs, but I think it was worth it because I really liked the end result. And I think that, like I said, with a big build like this, you don't really want to have that extra like challenge of just using a few packs. When I first started to build this build, I really wanted to have all the items that you can pick up. I did not end up putting in all the items. I did kind of forget it for like the second and third part, I think. I think we do have like all the herbs, as well as I think we have all the ammunition boxes that you can pick up. And then of course certain things are like hidden in lockers and that kind of stuff that I can't put in because they are in lockers. And then I think there's a few parts that I missed. But overall I think I got most of them. Of course it would have been great to get all of them, but I don't think I did that. For this hallway here, this is the only hallway that I actually just did myself. Like I didn't have any reference picture of this, I couldn't find it, so I just did it myself. These stairs as well, they go down to the basement here, go down to nothing, it's just like a black room. But I thought it would be nice to still include those stairs. And the reason I didn't do the basement is basically just because that leads down to like the nest, it leads down to the parking lot and the jail down there, and I used, well, first of all I couldn't fit it, and then also like with the parking lot, how would you like fit that in? Like you can't really come up like you would. I couldn't recreate that, and then of course you had a big nest that just would be a lot of extra. I guess I could have done the nest, but I thought it was a little bit too much to do. I still think I included the rooms that was most important, which is of course a secret room, as well as just having that little like guard room and that little like walkway down there that you can kind of walk across from like the graveyard area to like the fireplace. So just having those little few details there that I thought were more needed. But overall I think that it was also good that I didn't include that, just because this build is really big as it is, of course, but also for performance sake, like I said, this is a really big build as it is, and for performance you don't want to make it bigger than it needs to be, I guess. That at some point I could always come back and add in like the basement and that kind of stuff. If that's something that you want to see, I could definitely do that. But for now I thought that it was for the best to just leave it out. For the sheriff's office, this is probably the hardest room as well to do, one of the harder rooms, because in the sheriff's office there's a lot of taxidermied animals, and we don't have it in the Sims at all. So I'm just trying to like to replace those kind of stuff was really difficult. And you also saw we had that little elevator there that goes down to the, well, that is supposed to go down to like the parking lot. I thought it was a fun thing to include, although it's quite annoying because the Sims will load in there instead of the front of the lot. So if there's something that really annoys you, then just like remove the elevator because it's just there for looks. And I thought it was kind of annoying when my Sims did load in at the elevator instead of the front of the lot, because I don't think, of course it would make more sense that you load in at the front of the lot and not at the back. But yeah, that's just a little thing that I wanted to say. Also, I do have mannequins on this lot. I know that the mannequins have been kind of difficult to work with lately. There was a bug a while back where the mannequins caused you to not be able to download it from the gallery. That doesn't seem to be a problem right now, but if you have that problem, then, because I did end up uploading this build with the mannequins in it, and if there's a problem for you, then let me know and I will remove the mannequins and re-upload this build, because that's not a hassle for me at all, so I can definitely do that. But it seems to be fine this far, so it might just be like from player to player, kind of like how it was with like Sims not being able to scoot. They was very like individual to your game. I think that might be the same thing, or maybe they fixed it. I don't know, maybe they fixed that bug. I just heard about it, like, I did hear about the bug after I had uploaded this build, so I don't know how new it is, but I think it is fixed, hopefully. But overall, there's always gonna be things that are messed up with this game because it's The Sims, and it wouldn't be The Sims without it being horribly bugged and annoying, I guess. And you can definitely see that with just how much troubles that I've had with this build, with the crashes and the game kinda. I think that the game crashed once when I did the first floor, and then when I did the second floor, it kinda like locked at one spot. I just kind of like swirled around that spot, and then it crashed twice when I did the third floor. So this build is a little bit cursed, but I'm happy to have done it, and I'm happy that it ended up looking this good, and that the end result is something that I'm very willing to put out on the internet. And with that said, I do have all the parts on my YouTube channel. I will link that playlist in the description below if you want to watch me build this police station. I think it's about 5 videos, about 20 minutes each, so it's not too much, not too big to take on. Like I said, I did build this quite quickly, a lot quicker than I thought I would, which was actually quite nice. I thought that it would definitely be more parts, take me a lot longer, but in the end it only took me 25 hours and 5 videos, which I said is about 20 minutes each. So make sure to check that out if you want to. Of course, you also see the entire build here, but if you want to see my process, then you can definitely check those videos out as well. Now we're moving up to the third floor here. The third floor was mainly just storage, so I just went through it really quickly. Even though it did crash like 2 times for me, it did still take me probably quicker than any other of the floors. I actually really enjoy how this area has turned out, but like I said, it's mainly storage. We also have the clock tower up here that we're gonna look at really quickly, but overall this is just like a lot of storage, a lot of just crap everywhere basically. Overall, I actually really enjoyed doing this recreation. Although it gave me some trouble sometimes, I had really fun with it. So if you ever want to see me recreate something else, then leave a comment, because I will definitely do it. Anything that is from like a movie or like a TV series or a game, or like even if it's just like a real life house that you would want me to recreate, I could definitely do that, because I thought it was really fun to do this one. I think that it adds like that added challenge to it, which I think is really fun. Like with these clock towers, for example, I did struggle with the clock tower because we didn't really have the stuff that I needed in The Sims. But I think that overall, with the stuff that we did have, I could create something that I was happy with, and that I think ended up looking pretty good at the end. And I really liked that extra challenge. It's kind of like a shell challenge in the sense that I don't really get to choose how it looks like. I still have that creative liberty to almost do whatever I want anyways, even though I have to follow a very strict like layout and placement of furniture, which is kind of like a weird mix again. With that said, this is the end of this tour, so make sure to check out the playlist if you haven't already. And with that said, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you all very soon. Ripley out.